like to aspire or rise.
Here's a quick trick you can do.
Yeah.
This sounds really bad, but bear with me.
안녕하세요.
My name is Ben Samama. I'm a songwriter, a producer from Amsterdam, living in LA. This is my little tiny studio that I built. I've been in LA for 11 years, in the US for 15 years. Fortunately, being able to make songwriting and production my livelihood. And we're still going every day and happy to be able to make music with my very good friend, Eric.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Oxkalnis, professionally known as Acoustics, Sex on the Beach, Good Nights, are my two artist projects. I work on a lot of different styles of music, dance music, pop music, a little bit of country music. I've worked with artists like David Guetta, Dolly Parton, Galantis, to name a few. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. Like Ben said, I'm fortunate enough to make music for a living.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about song session and collaboration. So in Korea, song session is not common yet. And there are a lot of like Korean producers who just try to finish everything alone. And then usually it takes like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for making a one song, because they try to do it all day by themselves. And there are a lot of like amateur producers who think themselves like, oh, I need more time to practice my skills. So I need to spend more time in my bedroom studio. So they spend like 5 years, 6 or 7 years in their studio. So what do you think about that?
I think it's good to become very talented at what you do. I think in the end, everybody has natural inclinations of what they're great at. For example, I'm great at melody, but I'm good at lyrics. So my inclination is then to find someone who's great at lyrics. So then we can work together and have two great elements. And then I can either sit on that lyric for 2 weeks and shoot myself in the head because I just can't get there. Or I can find somebody who does it in an hour in the same way that I do a melody in an hour. And that way you kind of help yourself out as well.
I think sort of piggybacking off of Ben's point too, it's like it's really good when you are by yourself to fine-tune the things that you're good at and become a specialist at something. I truly believe that we work in a specialist industry. So it's like if you're really good at melodies, then you can become amazing at melodies. But the other side to the coin of that is if you go and you sit in the same, 4 walls every single day and you're using the same keyboard and the same mouse and the same DAW and the same everything, then you're going to naturally go to the places like, human beings are routine. Their nature is routine. So it's like you're going to always pull the same synth patch, or you're always going to think of the same type of melody or the same type of lyric. And that's something that, working in the room with somebody else, you would never think of if you were just sitting there by yourself.
I also feel like it's learning a language. The only way to learn French is to move to France.
Yeah.
In my case, if I want to learn how to write better lyrics, the only way to really, really do that is to work with people that are better at than me. So that needs to be collaboration.
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I should get lazy because I work with some fantastic lyricists. I don't have to think about it anymore. It can happen sometimes, but
I think that makes you a better lyricist because you're like, oh, dang, so-and-so is so much better at lyrics.
Yes.
Oh, wow, I would have never thought of that. Oh, that's interesting. I learned that from them, and you can learn from the people that you collaborate
There's
with.
a lot of technical skills as a lyricist. I'm just using lyrics as an example, but there's a lot of technical skills that you can use for lyrics that I would have never thought of. Like, oh, they come from this angle, or they're using that old song as an example of like how we framework this words, this storyline, and it's all this stuff that I could never think of by myself if I wasn't in the presence of someone who knows all that information. So, it's very, very important to become the best you can be at any skill, but it's also smart to understand what you are great at and what you're not great at. And therefore finding people that can complete you makes your life easier, first of all. It's also more fun because you're not constantly shooting yourself in the head. I'm hearing something, but I can't get there. Now I have to stare at the screen for 3 weeks. Oh my God. Like that makes you want to quit. And keeping it fun is 90% of the point. The hardest part is keeping it fun because it's a very difficult job as is. So then when you're working with people you love and you're working with people that make it easier, then you can do it more often and then you can stay in it longer.
Right. And I think also like another point, it's like you said something of like, beating your head over it for something. It's like what takes you 3 weeks could take somebody else 3 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like there's that, like it's always like
and vice versa.
And vice versa, right? And it's like, and then you can kind of go to each other, and then that's the beauty of collaboration.
Yeah. And then in LA you have the extreme version of that where you have like 6 people in a room, and one is the drum guy, and one is the guitar
guy, exactly.
And one is the rap girl, and one is the singer, and it's all of a sudden you get very like segmented, like you have one role and stick to it.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes to get the song to where it needs to be.
Yeah,
but
of course.
the rule in LA and in London and in Amsterdam and in most places that do quote unquote pop music, collaboration is the rule. The one thing I would say that you got to be careful of when you are collaborating a lot is that it's very easy to then start compromising your art, the thing that makes you special and different, because there's 4 other people in the room and you want to keep the vibe.
You're trying to bend to kind of make everybody feel happy, and then you're maybe not advocating for your own
and
ideas.
There's sometimes someone like Tame Impala, like he only sounds like that because it's him.
Right.
No one else, right? So, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to collaborate.
Right.
So finding a balance between learning from your peers and be willing to learn from your peers, but also keeping the thing that sets you apart in like a box that no one can touch. Is equally important.
How many songs do you write in a month?
Oh, God.
In you guys' case?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I've slowed down a lot, actually. But by a lot, I mean, let's say by year, because I usually measure it by the year. That's 12 months. I used to write about 250 songs per year.
250.
Now I'm at like on 150.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because the tempo that LA, specifically LA, but also Amsterdam and Berlin and, Nashville, the tempo that they give you is 1 a day. Right? So there's 365 days in the year. You work Monday to Friday. Usually you write 1 song a day, but sometimes you write 0 songs, or sometimes you write 2 songs, but it always kind of equals out at 200. And that doesn't mean they're all good. It just means that you did it. And then you got to go find the really, really good ones out of the 200. And those are the ones that I measure by. So just because the number is 200 doesn't mean that
you wrote 200 hits in a year.
No. Maybe I write 4 hits.
You'd be in a way bigger studio if you wrote 200 hits in a year.
My publisher told me, like, if you get 3 or 4 phenomenal songs a year
absolutely
out of those 200, then you're doing great.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you can't force yourself to get to those. So that's why you do so many, because then, you're done with the day and you listen back a week later, you're like, oof, that one is very special. I didn't notice it at the moment, but now I'm still thinking about it. Now recently I'm producing a lot more records and that takes time. So my tempo has gone down, but I spend a lot more time on the same song, sometimes months.
Right.
And that's fine. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just the best way to learn how to write and how to produce is just to do it over and over,
repetition,
and over and over, and fail and fail and fail, and don't give up and just keep going. So, 15 years into my career as a songwriter, I guess I'm 3,000 songs in.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
I guess. Wow. That doesn't mean that I'm empty. Like, I'm not emptied out. I'm still writing more and more.
That Google Drive is becoming more and more expensive every single year.
It's like,
would you like to upgrade to 60 terabytes?
I mean, kind of. My Dropbox is filled, and my portfolio list goes up to like 2,500 or something. And that doesn't mean that all of them are good. It just means that I got to knowing now, 15 years in, I know a hit when I hear it, but I needed that many songs.
So true.
To incrementally learn how to navigate and understand what a hit is. And even now, I don't get there every day. I still don't get there every day. I still 4 times a year. But maybe 10 years ago, I didn't recognize it. So actually what I'm doing now is I'm going back into my old songs from 10 years ago. Because with 10 extra years of experience, I'm recognizing that song from 2017 actually has something great to it. But back then I didn't know it.
You didn't know how to execute.
No, I didn't know how to recognize it.
Right.
And that's just experience. Does it make sense?
That was really good.
Okay. I mean, but please.
Amazing. No. I mean, honestly, I think I'm on a pretty similar clip. Probably like, I've actually recently upped my output. I'd say I'm probably now at least like close. This year I'll probably get to like 150 to 200. Because I'm starting to do these things called power hours now.
Nice.
I'm doing a lot of like...
No,
right. I'm hanging out with Neil. But also like in London, I actually realized that they do this a lot. And they just do like okay, hey, we'll put a 90-minute timer on it. We'll see what we can get out of it. And then that way you get 2 to 3 songs out of a day. And maybe it's just you pull a chorus from one of those ideas or whatever. But I think like back to your point about really just doing the thing over and over and over and over again. I think that really is one of the best ways to develop taste.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like also you're kind of cross-checking. You're creating something and you're sending it and you're saying, that didn't land. Or you're creating something and saying like, ooh, that worked. Yeah. But if you just did that once a month, you're like decreasing your chances of abilities to learn or feedback. You're decreasing your amount of feedback.
Yeah. Well, there's two elements to it, I think. There is the A lot of people, when they start writing songs, their first song,
Yeah.
they put a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah.
So important. This is my first song. It has to encapsulate my whole life.
That's so true.
And they start thinking about it, and it's not good enough because if you have good taste, for example, taste is the most important thing.
100%.
You have good taste. You realize that that song that you're currently writing sucks. You know it, but you can't get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Right? That's what taste is.
Yes.
You'll get there in a couple of years, but you understand that you're not there yet. A lot of first-time writers, they have the taste, but they can't get there the first time, and then they give up.
Yeah.
Because they hate it.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's not good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, or they're afraid to show it too.
They're afraid to show it
Confidence
and
is a
get
huge piece of this.
Absolutely, yeah. So the best way to get past that, the first 100 to 200 songs that everybody writes, that you have to get through the shits,
That are shit.
is to understand that you have the taste, you know this isn't it, but it's okay.
But trust your taste.
Yeah, trust your taste and say, I know this isn't good, but we'll get there if you just keep going. Like you just 200 songs in, all of a sudden 200 songs in, now you're close.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for me, I suck, apparently, because it took me 2,000 songs. But not everybody does. Some people get there really quick, right?
Everyone has a different path.
Then on top of that, I think if you write so much, you can be more objective. Because if you have 200 babies, not everyone is your favorite baby. Right? That means you can say, out of 200 babies this year, I like this
I got 199 other ones.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
this
that
one
are just as good, you know?
These other 199, right? And you're not as precious about it. Exactly. You're not as precious about these 200 babies. You're only precious about the one or two, or in my case, sometimes 3 or 4. And those are the ones I hold on to and I remember. And I completely forget about the other babies.
Yeah.
And that way, you first of all learn your taste.
Yeah.
Because the 4 out of the year that you love, that must be your taste because those stick with you.
Yeah.
And also you start recognizing that you start learning how to edit better.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just, again, repetition. It's just like going to the gym. You want to get buff?
Yeah.
You got to do this.
Every day. Over and over again.
That's okay. And it's not a problem if you fail the first year or 2 years.
And some days are easier than others. Some days you can put up your personal best, and then other days you can't put up anyway.
Yeah. So, you know, when I was teaching Berkeley, one of the things that I taught these kids is that I don't care if you finish a record. I just want you to do something. And it's most likely going to be bad.
Yeah.
You're still going to get an A because you did the thing.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, you just do it again, and I'll still give you an A because you did it. Even if it's terrible, I don't care. Next day, you're going to do it again. You're still going to get an A because you just have to get your numbers in.
Yeah. And you're going to learn something. Maybe it's a shit song, but you learned, oh, wow, that
didn't work.
That didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the opposite of that? You know what I mean? Like, but I also think you brought up a good point about taste, too, and how your taste develops. Because I think we can probably both speak to this. It's like our biggest songs and our most successful songs, there was so many people that said no to those songs. And it's like when you have that feeling of like that trust in your taste and you trust in your gut, you're like, oh, I'm going to push past this no. There's somebody else. There's somebody out there that will find this song. Yeah. Right. And I think that's also
I think the more personal taste records, in my case, it was the Runaway record for One Republic. That was a record that I believed in for a long time. I loved it. Everybody else was like, yo, this is sick. And then nothing happens, right? Because it was a bit of a scary record. It sounds different from other records, and nobody likes different. Even though those usually get the most attention in the end, because different means fresh and interesting, right? So, long story short, taste is important, but you don't know what it is until you just go, do it over and over and over and over until you develop it. And you'll never become decent in something, just like guitar or piano, if you don't spend the hours.
Yeah.
Just reps.
Volume.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Great. Okay, recently when you look on the credit of K-pop cuts, you can see a lot of like international producers like them joined, or you know, so there are not that many like Korean producers these days, right?
Yeah.
So based on that, we think for our like aspiring musicians, this is the best way for them. If they could have some opportunity to work with them, that would be really good for them actually.
Work with an international producer.
Yes, working so have some opportunity to work with.
Sure.
Yeah. So rather than just working, you know, by themselves in their bedroom studio.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one of the like the only way for them to make some cut, like to aspire or rise.
Here's a quick trick you can do.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but this is the quickest way to get there. This sounds really bad, but bear with me.
Yeah.
K-pop right now really, really badly wants to be international.
Yeah.
Meaning, so they're not just getting Korean audiences or Southeast Asian audiences. They want to have the American audience.
And it's happening.
It is already.
It's definitely crossing
the
over.
European audience, right? All these labels, what they're doing is they're reaching out to American producers because they want the American sounds.
Yep. Yep.
Right? What that means is that also when we're working is I tell people, let's not write a quote unquote K-pop song.
Yeah.
Whatever people think that is. Yeah. Let's write an American song and then send it to the label.
Right.
And then they'll like it more because that's what they want. So
yeah.
They might ask us to make it more Korean, whatever, meaning more like more sections, some more chords, some more harmonies, some more moments, right? Breaks, some more dynamic moments that usually happens in K-pop. But that's not what they're looking for. What they're looking for is that initial American thing. That's why they come to us. If you're a Korean producer, it's going to sound bad. What I would do is, first of all, only listen to American music, like
Study
modern American music,
yeah.
and learn how to make the most modern The Weeknd or Yeat or Olivia Dean or something that is Sabrina Carpenter. Whatever is the most, like, find cool underground American music, learn how to...
XCX.
Yeah, exactly. Learn how to produce it exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then try to find top liners that write American Western sounding records. And then, it's going to sound bad, find a non-Korean producer name.
So true.
Call yourself Big Yeet Motherfucker Yo Yo. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then you can send it up in a folder and no one will know because right now K-pop is not looking for Korean writers and producers because they're afraid that that's not American enough. But no one gives a shit.
Wow.
If they hear the record and they just love it and then they'll realize later that you're a kid from wherever in Korea, right? They don't care. They just want to have the cool American thing. So you can just cosplay as an American by making American music and changing your name and whatever. You know what I mean? It's really, I find it very silly that they're looking specifically only to us. It's nice because we get paid, but it doesn't mean that there's not incredible talented producers and writers in Korea right now. There are. I know them. They're insanely amazing. It's just they want the American thing,
So true.
whatever that means. It's this weird like reputation that they have over here in LA. All the labels come here. I don't think what we make is that much cooler or better than they do over in Korea.
Yeah.
So why not?
It's different.
Yeah, why not lean into it? You know what I mean?
Smart.
The one thing though is that even in LA, I constantly have to push people to not write K-pop. So there's a lot of writers in LA that make K-pop.
Yeah.
They're not getting no cuts because they think that K-pop sounds like K-pop from 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Or from 4 years ago.
Whereas it's innovating. Every genre has to eventually move
It's always
forward.
moving. It's always moving further towards whatever Western. Eventually, the case is going to go. It's going to be pop.
If you're making music from 3 years ago, then you're 5 years too late.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So make the most modern, whatever that means, modern music you can, and then I guess change your name to something international sounding.
Yeah.
And then see if that helps.
Yeah.
They might not give a shit because they just want the cool thing.
Yeah. I think it starts with the music and the taste.
It should,
Yeah.
So yeah, based on that, if I'm not able to like make those kind of like American style song yet, then it would be really great to have some opportunity to work with American producers.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
of course.
rather than just working with like a lot of like Korean amateur producers, right?
Sure.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, the best way to learn is
It's from the person who's making the thing.
yes,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
to work with the
Right.
people that make the thing.
Right, exactly.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna start a 1-year course next month, and then we're gonna let our students to work with international producers, and then also we're gonna let them work with K-pop, like Korean hit producers too. So that way we can let them just collaborate like international producers and with Korean producers at the same time.
That's an incredible opportunity, yeah.
In terms of the track quality, you know, like Korean hitmaker, we're gonna help them, so it's gonna be really good track quality.
Amazing.
So yeah, so it's gonna be like students and then Korean hitmakers and then international songwriters.
Great.
This is gonna be really
It's amazing.
Wow,
This is really first thing we try in
Yeah,
Asia.
Really
market,
cool.
So.
Really
So-
forward thinking.
What you thinking on this?
No, it's really smart. I think it's really smart.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
I think it's
Absolutely.
amazing. I think it's an amazing opportunity to be able to collect. I mean, also like to touch into all these different cultures and genres. I think like working with somebody who's international, working with somebody who's local, I think that it's, you'll get you always get the average of all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that could
Absolutely.
that's a really unique opportunity.
Yeah. Again, we write every day. Not every day is going to end up with a fantastic song, but the best way to up your average of fantastic songs is to just do more and more and more. So, if the students get an opportunity to write more with people that know what great sounds like, that's fantastic learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, last question about Suno. These days, as you mentioned, like we really try to make some kind of like American style music or something, but we're not good at those kind of things. So these days we're trying to do a sketch, make some sketch through the Suno, and then we're trying to edit or remix or something. That's our way.
Sure.
That's the way that we recommend to our students.
Okay.
So what do you think about the Suno as a producer or as a songwriter?
I use Suno only one way, and that is to replace my vocal with another vocal.
Okay.
Because I don't always sound great when I'm doing like a cool R&B record. I have a very specific vocal sound. I don't know, I'll tell you, I don't know a lot of producers that use Suno in that way. I know a lot of people that use Suno if they want to have like a quick, like they sing something and they say, make it horns. And then they make a sample out of it. And then they put that into the session and they put their own drums on it. Right? I feel like Suno has a very down the middle. When you ask it to make a song, it feels very down the middle. A lot of times the sonics of it feel like, you know, your quintessential trap drum.
Yeah.
Your quintessential,
it's really perfect. It comes out really perfect.
Quintessential trap 808s. And it's all very like down the middle. It's not very creative. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like well mixed. It feels solid, but it's not very creative.
It does the job.
Yeah, but in the end, creative is more important than good.
It's not a great sound, right?
Yeah, it's just the problem that we all have, especially when you're learning how to write, is that we all learn how to write good songs consistently, but good is not good. Yeah. Good is bad.
Good is bad.
Good is boring.
Yeah.
Right? When you write boring songs that are mathematically correct and everything fits and you learned your lessons and you learned all the stuff, that's still boring.
So no edge.
Exactly. So what you got to do is you got to get creative. My issue with Suno is that it's good, but it's boring. So if you want to learn, for example, like how long the release on the 808 should be, fine, use it. But that doesn't mean that it's interesting. It's just like well-crafted, made stuff. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of producers that use Suno to get quick, almost like splice. They just want a quick sample.
Yeah.
Horns here, that's cool. Strings, that's cool. Ooh, what about that crazy sound? Oh, that's cool. They should put it in your session, but they still get creative with it themselves. Because without the creativity of you as a human, you're still going to get good but boring. And that's my issue with Suno right now. Maybe next year it'll become creative and interesting. Right now it's not. It is like the most boring but good version of the thing that you're trying to make. Do you agree with that?
No, I completely agree. I think that Suno is a tool in order for you to help with the execution of something, or like it cuts down time and saves you speed. Like it's a speed thing.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, but I wouldn't put Suno in my final productions.
Yeah.
But it's a good opportunity to show somebody an idea or a vision. It's like, okay, I can't play the trumpet, but it's like, we know Sammy, our friend Sammy. It's like, oh, like, well, make this thing. I'll do horns, and then I'll send it to Sammy, and then Sammy will play the horns, and then he'll bring the thing to life. You know what I mean? I think it's a good negotiation tool that you can use with other co-collaborators. But now we're back on collaboration. But I think for what you're saying is kind of like what I would use it for. But I don't think that it can ever replace the humanness of something that at the highest level.
Maybe eventually.
At the highest level. You're talking records that, like, if you zoom out, like if you really take a like zoom out perspective, like, you know, there are songs that are listened to, like we use Toxic, for example. Like that, if that was Suno strings, it wouldn't, you'd listen to it maybe for 6 months or a year, but over time, like, would that really stand the test of time? I don't know. And I think that that's like the back to your point of the character and the uniqueness of things that only exists in the human imperfection.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I don't think that Suno's a bad thing. I think it's a beautiful tool, and I think I don't play, you know, I'm not an incredible
I use Suno
bass player, but
I used Suno once on a record because I didn't know what to do.
I think it's great for ideas too. It's given me certain melody ideas in the production. It's like, oh, interesting. They went to that chord. I wouldn't have gone to that chord. Interesting. You know what I mean?
There was a record I was working on, and it was kind of like a Nirvana-y record, and I just didn't know what to do with it. It's not my favorite thing. So I put the thing that was like a bass loop and the vocal, put it into Suno, and out came this like really great part that sounded like robot ass, but like the part was great. And then I proceeded to learn the part, which took forever, and then I had to record it myself, and then I had someone else record it, and then I had a third person record it until it was great. The part was from Suno.
The theory.
The idea was from Suno.
The theory,
but the sound was robot shit, right? So then I needed the humanity of a real person to actually play it and record it properly and have it sound great and human.
It's a sounding board. It's like, hey, is this a good idea? No, it's not. Okay, cool. Is this a good idea? Oh, wow, it is a good idea.
So
let me bring this to life.
You can use it as like an aggregate of like cool ideas from a certain genre sometimes, but then it sounds like flat and boring and good when it comes out. So I would use it more as a arrangement tool than as a I like this sound, let's put it in, or like I grab this entire thing.
Yeah. You're also ripping stems and like
it sounds grainy and shitty. Also, because if normal people might not notice a difference between Suno and real, but professionals definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And A&Rs.
A&Rs can tell, but also like, I work in a lot of dance music. Yeah. When you play stuff on big systems,
it doesn't work.
Oh my God. Like you can like hear, well, the phasing's bad, the frequencies are bad, they peak out. So it's like, if you're going for the biggest, K-pop acts or the biggest DJs or whatever, they're only playing on big systems.
You cannot use Suno.
Like you're talking about playing a song in front of 50,000 people. Yeah. Like you can't have ripped Suno.
It doesn't work.
Just replace the hi-hat.
Yeah, but the ideas usually are decent.
Yeah, the ideas, it's great for ideas.
Like in my case, the idea of that guitar line was like a very down-the-middle guitar line from that era. I just didn't know that era very well. That works.
Yeah.
But if you're doing like modern dance or modern hip-hop or whatever, like it's going to sound like everyone else.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd be very, very careful with Suno. It's a quick way to see if it works.
Yeah. It's like a guess and check thing.
Yeah, it's great for vocal replacement, which is the only way I use it. If you write the song, you do the whole thing, the lyrics and the melody, the song is unique and it's special and I just can't sing it well. Then you use Suno.
So you're not using the Suno when you're making top line work?
No,
never.
Never.
Wow. Just for idea or something, you don't use it?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. And not because I've tried it once, and what happens is...
Sounds like a robot.
So I've worked with some singers that are so good at singing that they can get away with bad melodies.
Oh, this is so true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like a blessing, a gift, and a curse.
Yeah. I've worked with them. And I'm like, I know this song is really bad. Like, I know this doesn't work.
But your voice is so good.
Yeah.
Your voice is so good.
And the problem is that it's only cool if they do it.
Yeah.
So
and the moment you get another singer, K-pop group, or any other artist, it's lame. So all of a sudden, you start listening to how good the performance is and not how good the bones of the structure of the song are, right? And Suno is the same. You can write a terrible melody, and Suno will perform it so well that it sounds okay. But it's bad. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And the absolute golden rule here is you have to imagine that if you do it by a campfire with a guitar with someone who can't sing, and if it still sounds like a hit, then you're okay.
Wow.
Right? And what's nice about my voice is that it's not that good. So if I can sing it...
It's pretty good.
It's fine.
I know.
It's good.
If I can sing it and it sounds like a hit, then usually someone else can too. But if like someone, I won't name names, but if there's like 3 or 4 singers in LA that I work with, if they do it, it's like, of course it's going to sound like a hit. It's not the point. They're not going to do it.
So true.
Someone else has to do it and make it sound like a hit. And that means that
it's like a cheat code.
It's a cheat code, but it means that the energy and all the work should be in the song structure bone.
At the core.
It has to work if an idiot does it.
Does it sound good on chords?
Some idiot on a guitar at a campfire or like American Idol like auditions.
Yeah, right.
Some kid
singing
from Milwaukee who can't sing. If he does it, it still sounds like a hit, then you're good. Right? And Suno, unfortunately, is the guy who can sing too well. So it instantly makes it sound like it's acceptable. But it shouldn't be. Because the song isn't done yet. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. I think it's a great point.
Wow.
I know people like that, and it bothers the hell out of me. They can get away with some really bad songs.
Yeah, no, I know a couple. It's like as songwriters, we're always creating songs and then sending them to the artists, and there's very few people that when you send it, it sounds better than the demo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it always kind of takes a step down, and then there's been a few circumstances where it's like you send it to them and then it takes a step up.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway.
Yeah, we could rant on forever.
Suno's useful. Don't lean on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great tool.
I think that's all.
That's the short of it.
Great tool, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It was really good advice, really.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Of
course. Seriously, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I bet this video we're gonna be really like rise.
Awesome.
Really, yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Please sign up for the 1-year course. It's going to be super, super useful.
Incredible.
And we're very happy to be a part of it. Thank you, GAMSUNG, for having us.
Thank you, GAMSUNG. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
감사합니다.